Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, it's showtime. Hiya. So, let's start. Seeing if we can do Winter's Day. No, 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 no. Okay, the answer is no. For some reason, they have changed the ordering of the number of things that can give you credit on the daily. And now most of the time I seem to not be able to do it because I don't want to spend 20 minutes or more in one of the activities. So much for that.
Clock's ticking. Not much time for
talking. I mean, there's a little we can do. Grab the free present, you know. Grab another free present.
Dolyak, aren't you?
I'm rich, you know.
What was the one thing that I was willing to do? Open 4. That's it. Oh, and hit 3 players. Yeah, that ain't worth it either. It's just not worth it.
What is it?
Oh, we'll throw away the choir bell. I mean, I could send it along to a friend who has almost 50,000 of them.
You're a wacky little Dolyak, aren't you?
If I were to do that. Break an enemy defiance bar, sure. Rift hunt and salvage. If I can do a rift hunt in the next map I'll be going to anyway. We're going to change characters. This is the character we created a couple days ago. And we're going to continue leveling her up. Let's see, deadly arts. Apply vuln when you steal. Immobilizing poison. They're below 50% health. Immobilizes them. Sure, why not? Why not? Alright, having finished up this map outside, we'll go to Lion's Arch. And then Divinity's Reach, we're going to do the Queensdale map. I normally do 2 or 3 of the starting maps when I'm leveling a new character. Yes, we know. Divinity's Reach. Just that quickly.
If we increase the sympathetic resonance, perhaps the power output can be boosted.
Oh, bonk. It's possible I bonked into the wall. I don't want to say I definitely bonked into the wall, but I definitely bonked. But it's okay. Queensdale awaits. The weapons currently. Okay. Good level on the spear. I have a sneeze brewing, even though I just got here. My body's already rejecting it. No brains.
The fields beyond.
And we are off. Rather badly off, according to some. Somehow I'm fixing scorched corn. I know better than to beetle race. If you're around, all you'll do is beat me and then dance upon my inert corpse. Good evening, Engelbert Meow. Ladies, gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, the lovely and talented EBM. I'm sorry, I can't resist any longer, knowing that you're here. Do you check out the character there? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Me. It was me. I couldn't resist. Hey, I was honest. Always an annoyance. Yeah, well, that was the intent, was to do the best I could with it. I'm going to work on the hairstyle and color probably with a kit. After all, it is a tribute to you. My favorite Guild Wars 2 streamer who isn't me. So that's the second best. For those who don't know, EBM, she is a delightful, mostly Guild Wars 2 streamer. She also does cursed cosplays. And I'm currently running a 12-month streak of subscribing to her with my Prime. Because I'm cheap and loyal. Throw the lady a view. Be kind. It's the holidays. See, sad to say, I mentioned earlier that a friend of mine had almost 50,000 bells.
I like it.
Engelbert is the friend. At least she used to be a friend. I'm not sure she considers me a friend anymore, because I sent her one. Just one. Not a stack. Not 5 stacks. Just one. And I did it with this character. But it wasn't obvious to who it was. Jukebox. I'm glad you appreciated. It was done in affection might be a bit of an exaggeration. It was done in my standard not entirely abusive kind of annoyance, but just a little niggling annoyance. I when she popped in and said hello, I couldn't hide it anymore that it was like right there. I felt it was probably better that that she hear it from me than say you. See, I am not beating her race time ever in my existence. That won't happen. I'm giving you leeway so that you can continue to outrace her.
Eat pain.
Nope. She's a cat. No one's ever heard of a cat revenant, but they've heard of cat burglars. I wanted to do a spear-based character, and was browsing through the various builds, and I saw that Thief is Condi, and I normally don't build Condi Thief. And then I was trying to come up with a name, and in a moment of I'll call it inspiration. This is what I came up with.
And hey, without you running things, there'd be a serious pie shortage.
So she is my 5th thief. Yeah, Pistol Thief is awesome for leveling. Wooden potatoes long ago maybe 5 years ago, 4 or 5 years ago, did a series of open world and story
Best time to pick
builds.
an apple is right before it falls.
And
Soon in its turn.
that's what actually got me.
It's bruised.
I had maybe 400 or 500 hours in the game, and since then I've got like 4,500 hours in the game. Having a decent build, not only where the build was good, but where I understood why the build was good. Thank you, Wooden Potatoes. I'm sure you're watching this evening because it's 1 a.m. in England, and you couldn't sleep, so you decided to watch me. And the build he had for Thief was Pistol, Deadeye. And I handed the build around to a couple of my friends, and it vastly increased what they felt their power was in the game. They finally had a decent build that was really straightforward. And it still is. It's not as good as it used to be because, well, probably none of the builds that he had were, as good as they used to be. Still learning why your builds actually... Well, you see, the key is to not worry about it and be like me and have most of your builds not work. I'm just learning Thief Spear now. Even the base... What's a build? A blue class is a build.
How do you do?
EBM. And that's my normal, is blue class.
A little help?
But those guides from Wooden Potatoes, I mean, they weren't just good builds, which they were,
I give up.
but they also were instructive in that he talked about things, about the various synergies and what made the builds work, and why he used this, that, and the other bits and pieces. They're mostly power builds, and with a big emphasis on sustain. And so the Pistol, Deadeye has got the trait that gives you a little bit of health every time you hit. And every time you hit the 3 button in Pistol, you hit 8 times. So basically you have vast amounts of sustain. Plus, it's incredibly good single target, and you get the penetrate trait for it and do a little bit less damage. And as long as you line up your targets, it does multiple targets. And that should be enough. As much as I love the combat mounting, it shouldn't trigger if you're no longer in combat. The amount of times I accidentally trigger it like a second too soon and it uses it up because it thinks I'm in combat when I'm not. I almost forgot to get the Vista. I feel shame. Oh, boss is up.
Ha! You're kidding, right?
I'll wait for this other person, make sure that they get here for tagging purposes.
The fun's over here.
See? And that's because I'm a nice player. I make sure other people get their tags. I'm not one of those guys that plays a high-level character and destroys all of the mobs, insta-murdering them. Oh, I've gone the wrong way again, haven't I? I have. Insta-murdering them so no one else can get any hits on events and the like.
Somebody get those idiots away from the pipe.
Help me over
I
here.
think we got everything. Pretty sure. I know you don't, Jukebox. You're a kind, thoughtful gamer of the people, like me. No, I save my antisocial activities for when I'm in chat. Say, of one of my favorite streamers. Water pipes remaining. That's 7.5 minutes of event that I won't be doing. Kind and thoughtful, and beats race times by milliseconds. Well, I mean, not me. Him? Yeah. A little bit. Okay, he did it a little bit. I cannot claim such a triumph as my momentary and incredibly brief time ahead of EBM was an accident.
These are dangerous times.
That's true. I did initiate it with, granted, my overly enthusiastic, triumphant piece of trash talk. It was essential. I will agree that
You will be broken.
if I hadn't, albeit very, very briefly, been slightly ahead of EBM, the Beetle Wars would not have happened. Welcome to Beetle Wars. Hey, Vorp. No, I don't have to be, it's just in my nature. Even when I know I'm going to pay for it. Ask Vorp. Vorpine and I have been gaming together for 15 years, something like that. And I seldom know what's best for me in the long term. Poor impulse control for those of you who've read Snow Crash. Hi.
Eat pain.
Eat pain. I'm still not convinced that's a thing I would be saying.
Alert!
The 3 on the spear is a delightful skill on the thief, as it's a nice close. Who doesn't like a good closing skill? It's the holiday season. Time for me to raise the dead. Another heart. And because I am an evil magpie, time to face off with the windmill.
Oh, and below, the Windmill King wants to fight a dragon. Bring out the dragon! Forsooth, you have met your match, dragon.
I have met my match. Oh, he hit me. That was not what I was trying to have happen.
You bewitched me, you evil magpie.
What can I say? I'm an evil magpie. He's got me on that, really. Yeah, evil magpie for sure.
Now you suffer.
All right, now for the really cruel part of our evening. We're murdering Scrit. What?
Many scrits, help!
Wait, is he saying many Scrits should come and help? Or is he saying I am many Scrits, like I'm many Scrits in a trench coat? And now we'll start kicking over the items of cultural importance to them. Oops. Because I'm a cultural imperialist running dog. You know, the way one is. Poor Scrit. And they're oh so destructible shiny things. Bottle lobber, quit running! I can't catch up if you keep running. There we go, heart complete. We will grab this.
I wonder what they needed the tools for. If they would just ask, maybe we'd trade
Waypoint
with them.
and bop
Scrit?
back to
No way.
there.
There's still weapons hidden down in that armory. We could sure use them.
Are there still weapons? There are still weapons hidden down in that armory. Is there a hidden armory with weapons that I don't know about on this map? Because I've only done this map like a literal 100 times. Or more. And he says something about there being weapons down in the armory, and I have no idea what the hell he's talking about. I have swapped weapons successfully. And because I'm a hero, you know, sometimes a hero's got to tidy up the paperwork. It's not all glamour when you're a hero. You know, the song might make you think that they're all holding out for a hero for something like romantic, but no, they're expecting you to clean up. Another wolf. A wolf. We'll kill those 10 rats, and you will. I will kill the 10 rats or centaurs. In this particular case, yeah, kind of with rats, although not entirely. Oh, well, we need to catch up with this event so that we can get credit for it. Got to murder a few centaurs, as I was just mentioning about centaurs and murdering them. We will pull out the short bow for this. So we'll beat back a couple of batches of centaurs, and then we'll move on.
They come again. Make quick work of them.
Just so we get credit for the event. A whole lot of people. Come on, give us our next batch. Give us this day, our daily batch of centaurs. Please, anytime now. Anytime now. Be fine. Here they come.
Brawl hair. Do something about that, will ya?
Yep, a bunch of people ran out in front and killed them all. Well, I got enough tags in it. Maybe just a silver, but it'll be fine. It's not a contest, although they are cheating. Hey, Fat Body. Good evening. We've got something of a quorum here, so I will be streaming on New Year's Eve. Now, as I grow older, my stamina for a great many things has become lessened, but I am going to continue to try my tradition of starting stream and enjoying adult leisure beverages and wishing a happy new year to all 4 or 5 five actually time zones. So that's Atlantic, Eastern, Central, Mountain, and Pacific.
Wrong choice.
The time will come when I will no longer have the old-fashioned oomph to do that. We'll see if this year's the year.
Now
So
you
far,
suffer.
I believe I have succeeded every year that I have tried to do it. So far. Mind you, it's a long haul for an old fart like me. Nothing much is up. I am just doing sort of a, I don't want to say low energy, because that might give a not entirely accurate view, but a relatively low energy stream. Just doing some leveling. Blabbing at all these poor people who've done nothing wrong to me. 183, 161. Ooh. New neck piece. Not technically an item of attire, so that means we will not be changing our dye scheme just yet. For those who are not familiar, every time I get a new item of attire, I randomly reassign my dyes. And the backpack straps of preparation are a back item, but they're not visible. However, I can make them visible.
You must like pain.
In which case, new dyes. So it is technically visible right now, but actually has no appearance. So if we go to wardrobe and we click on the back item. Oh, I clicked the wrong thing. There we go. I have lots of back items to choose from. Many back items. So many back items. Let's see. I don't know. How can I choose? Oh, let's see. How about the swaggering cape? Yeah, we'll go with the swaggering cape. And now that's a new item of attire. And now we head back to dyes and we randomly assign them. And here we go. Okay, what we have here is Abyss, which used to be the blackest black in the game, Charred, and Electro Pink. Certainly there is no danger of me being camouflaged. As far as appearance, I haven't gotten that far yet. That's the sort of thing I normally don't get to until I'm done leveling. As far as a character theme, I wanted to play... I've not done much with Spear, and I've done nothing on Spear Rogue, so this character is going to be a Spear Rogue. Well, my favorite dyes are Darkness and Enameled Emblaze. Those are the two dyes I use most. Sorry, guys. Hey, that was not what occurred. I can assure you that was not what occurred. I hit my dodge, and nothing happened. And then he hit me with his really, really big hammer sledge club thing. But I can assure you, with no hesitation at all, that I did in fact hit the dodge in time. The darkness die I love because while it's a good, very dark gray/black, one of the dye sub-channels is more of a silver color. And so it gives a really good contrast inside a dye channel with the dye sub-channels, basically allowing for something like not quite, it's more obvious here, but where you have this sort of detailing popping up, you can get that pretty straightforwardly just with one dye with darkness, where a lot of the texturing will really pop up. The same is true with most of the enameled dyes, in that the dye subchannels allow for a lot of contrast, which can really make things pop. Finding the content cycle. I find it really hit and miss. As an example, and a number of the people in the channel have heard me whine about this in the past. In the latest expansion, in Janther Wilds, the first map is enormous good fun. Really shows a lot of time and effort went into the design. And the second map, Janther Sentry, is the worst open world map they've ever made. And they didn't improve it at all, content-wise, for the patch.
Things were different.
Pick up a rifle and get in formation. Remember,
In the last
don't release your
expansion,
shot
in
until the
Soto,
order is
I
there.
loved the first map. The second map was okay.
Not bad.
The three parts
bad
of the
at all.
third map
Let's
were
keep at it.
meh, poor, and god-awful. So
That
it's
rifle
very
is property
much
of the Seraph. You can't just
dependent
walk
on
off
the
with
bits
it.
and pieces. So far, some I've liked,
Hold.
and some I have really not liked.
Try attacking me as I lower.
And this is the most boring heart in the game.
Fire! Not bad. Not
It's
bad
not
at
enough
all.
to hit the target.
Let's keep at
You
it.
must learn to hold until commanded.
Yeah. Wish they went back to map and
Big
made changes.
game.
I was really hoping we would get changes to Janther Sentry.
Pick up a training sword. if
And
you
the
want to train.
implication from the
Wouldn't
way
want
they had
anyone getting
announced it
Hold.
was that we would.
Oh, come
Fire.
on. That's way too slow.
See it?
Try attacking me as I lower my
Not
guard.
bad.
But
Bad at all.
they
keep at it.
made how the terrible hearts are better now. You get much more progress
Big game.
by doing an event. The events pop much more often. So they've improved playing through Janther
Hold.
Sentry. Now, I also want to talk about the good stuff in Janther Sentry, which is
Fire!
the lore stuff in Janther Sentry.
Not bad.
Oh, come on.
You can make a
at
good
all.
case. That's the best
Keep
lore
at it.
map they've
Try
ever had.
attacking me as
Eh,
I lower my guard.
the first Soto map was pretty good too in terms of lore.
Take aim.
Melissa aid you.
So I don't want, to say that the whole map is a disaster, but from an open world perspective,
Hold.
which is my primary playthrough, what I like to do
Fire.
for entertainment. I like leveling for me is comfort food.
That's how
Not
you
bad
block
at
an
all.
attack.
Let's
Janther
keep at
Sentry
it.
was terrible. Found the launch great and then fall off with the patches.
Pick
Felt
up a
the same
rifle
for
and get in
Soto.
formation.
Take aim.
Remember,
The
don't release
first
your
map
shot
in
until the
Soto
order is
was
given.
okay. It was a small map,
Hold.
but it had a
It's
lot
not
of
enough
different
to hit the
events
target.
and stuff
You
going
must
on.
learn to
Fire.
hold until commanded.
The second one was not as good, I didn't
bad.
think.
Not bad at all.
And the third one
Let's keep
at
was
it.
the second
That's way
worst
too
content
slow.
we've ever seen
Try attacking me
after
as I lower
the
my guard.
Gyala Tunnel, which is the worst piece of content they've ever put out.
Take aim.
Pick up a training sword.
It's
if you
very
want
much
to
hit or
train.
miss.
Wouldn't want anyone getting hurt.
Again.
Hold. Fire.
And I think most of the player base.
Not bad.
What do you mean my
Not
New
bad at
New
all.
Year's resolution is
Pick up a rifle and
positivity?
get in
I'm
formation.
positive I'm right.
Remember, don't release your shot.
How can I
until
be
the
any more
order is
positive
given.
than that? I also think
Big
that
game.
amongst the content creator community, they were
Hold.
overly uncritical of Sentry
Hold.
because they enjoyed the first map so much.
Fire!
And the first map is a blast.
Not bad. Not bad at all. Let's keep
But
at it.
I think too many people got caught up in doing fun bear
Enough to
things
hit
in
the
the first
target.
map.
You
And
must
we're
learn to hold until
largely
command.
not critical enough in Sentry.
Hold.
Why do we need extra wheat?
I
Hold.
told my sister's family is coming down from
Fire!
We should go there instead.
and risk getting robbed or worse.
Not bad.
Thank you.
Not bad at all.
Now, I am
Let's keep at
hopeful
it.
for
Pick up a rifle and
Babanisos.
get in formation.
I hope they don't bungle
Release your shot
Babanisos
until
the
the
way they
order
did
is
with the
given.
second content
Take game.
patch, or the first content patch for Sota.
Pick up a training sword.
Because Babanisos has got real
Don't want anyone
problems.
getting
Shield and get in there. What do you need?
You'll never block me
Hold.
like that. Try raising your shield just as I launch my attack.
Fire!
And not just promise in a lore term.
Not bad. Not bad at all. Let's keep at it.
About the first map being amazing. It's enormous fun. And you know,
Take game.
you can have a map that's just fun. Grothmar Valley was more or less that.
Hold.
And in Grothmar Valley, though, did have perhaps the single best event the game's ever had in the Metal Legion concept.
Hold.
So that helped it, too.
Fire.
Officer, strengthen you.
And there. And that was only, what, 15 or 20 minutes for me to
Block me like that.
finish the longest heart in the game. Don't find Sentry that bad, but there's definitely a noticeable difference in quality. There's just not that much happening. Most of the events are copy-paste. Now there are a lot there, and grinding out the hearts was terrible. They fixed the terrible nature of the grinding out hearts. Pardon me, I have to murder a bunch of pony boys. I'm gonna... Oh, nope, they've taken off. I wanted to make sure they got hits in, too. One of the worst things with Guild Wars 2 is replayability. Most of the time, I would disagree, but certain things are punishing, and maybe the single worst example, and we're back on me being positive again, is the Lion's Arch chapter of Janthier Wilds, which is about as unplayable as you can conceivably get. Unreplayable. In that you sit there for half an hour, occasionally hitting a button, and that's about it. Of course you're teasing me. That's your job. Just like my job is to tease you when you're streaming. Wish they could make more coherent system with enable replayability like fractals. What I would like to see them do for at least replayability of the story is they've got to give us a skip mechanic. The way we used to have it, where you could skip the angled faces talking mechanics. You could skip individual bits of the speaking. They've got to implement that because it kills replayability. I have done that intro arc for Janthier Wilds twice. I've done it the 2 times required to get the achievement done. And I'll never do it again. Ever. And I love replaying the content. I enjoy replaying large amounts of the storyline content. And not being able to skip it is an absolute... It just kills it. Who was it? I think it was Muckluck mentioned that he was watching one of the big streamers. You know, somebody who they paid thousands of dollars to play Guild Wars 2 at Janthier Wild's launch. And he spent the first half hour, the guy did, playing around with, you know, a gear and stuff like that, and doing the level 80 level up thing that anyone who's ever done the game, ever done a level 80, you know, getting out the gear, equipping it, looking at stats, stuff like that. So he spent an hour doing that of his 2-hour stream. And then he spent the next hour watching faces talk to each other in Lion's Arch. What a waste of money. They set fire to, who knows, $10,000, maybe $20,000 for a player who literally really didn't get to play.
I will live on.
Hey, I finished the heart. Oh, I forgot. Hero point. It's condition damage instead of vitality. It is exactly the same defense. It is a lower level, so it's not actually an upgrade. Sad, really. Terribly sad.
I was manufactured to the highest standards.
I mean, I love watching the story stuff, the way they do it. The first time, maybe the second time. As an example, in Soto, there is a quest in the very first map where you have to listen to, I think, 5 out of 7 or 8 voice recordings from Gorik's girlfriend. And so you go, you find one, you start listening, you move on to the second one, you get to the second one, and they won't let you start the second one until the first one completes. So what do? You log out and log back in 5 times in 5 minutes, because otherwise it's going to take 10 minutes. If your content is designed in a way that encourages the players to log out, you're doing something wrong. We're playing PoE 2. It's not perfect. Oh, PoE 2 is a source of endless rage for me, but I am still playing. I'm an ARPG fan, and it has enough of the core gameplay loop I like that I keep playing it, but it really has a lot of things that frustrate me. Getting Arc DPS is a must to just understand the game. I think not to understand it, but to optimize your understanding, I would agree. My understanding, for me, and I mentioned this earlier, my understanding had a huge level up, as you might say, with a bunch of videos Wooden Potatoes did about 4 or 5 years ago about open world and story builds that are made for running around the open world, for doing storyline stuff. They all have good damage and good sustain, and they were made for playability, is why he put them together. And those were great builds, and he explained why. So I understand the why now of what makes a good build in Guild Wars 2. I'm not very good at... I'm okay at building if I want to change things around, but I'm just simply not good enough as a player to be able to hit benchmarks, for example. And so Arc DPS is certainly useful for benchmarking and for optimizing your play. Wait for Druid. You're one of the ones who wants the Druid up. It's coming. Eventually.
Might makes me right.
But do be careful what you wish for. You may not find the mechanics quite as much fun as you'd hoped. I have had a lot of individual issues
Fury is mine.
with PoE 2. A lot of the design I consider to be
Defense, then
as if they have forgotten lessons they learned in the past. That's one of my big problems with a lot of MMOs. It was a huge issue they had in New World is the sudden, unexpected reoccurrence and reappearance of solved problems. Where, long ago, they used to have this problem in MMOs, but they fixed it. Except they didn't fix it in New World. Oh, the other person ran off. Fine, I'll run off too then, if you're not going to help. I moved in to help the person, and they just took off. Like what? Like what was I ranting about at the moment? I don't recall. I'm an old man. The brain, it just doesn't work. I know it was PoE 2. In New World? I was talking about New World. The things. Yeah, it's not an MMO. PoE 2 is PoE or not. It's an ARPG. What New World did is, for instance, at a certain point early on, New World. Would you like me to buy you New World, Engelbert? I was online when this happened. I'm playing, I'm doing stuff, and chat is going by on the left-hand side. The way it is in an MMO. And all of a sudden, a picture of a sausage appears in chat. Not an ASCII outline of a sausage. It occurs in chat. Someone had found a way to link the HTML image of the in-game sausage into chat. And within a couple of hours, the servers were down because people had started putting other HTML into chat, where if you moused over it, it would crash your client. The reoccurring problems in PoE are things like PoE 2 are solved issues, things like the reason they have one-shots in PoE 1 is because that's just about the only way they can kill players, is with one-shots and on-death effects. There are a lot of ways to kill players in PoE 2, and how are they killing people most of the time? On-death effects and one-shots. A number of the solved problems they've had over the years, where a game system was problematic, they removed Magic Find from PoE 1 entirely because it was being abused. Guess what's back? It's not only back in PoE 2, it's stronger than it was in PoE 1. Wait. Oh, that's a heart, but we're not up to the shadow thing yet, right? Should be close, though. The mapping in PoE 2, and by mapping I mean the campaign mapping. They have brought in problems that in some cases never even existed in PoE 1. The maps are big, and the visual indication you have on the map is not clear, it's not well designed. The maps are huge, and a lot of times you spend enormous amounts of time backtracking. Now this is a lesson they should have learned from Diablo 4. Players hate backtracking in ARPGs. Problem's the same because you don't want PoE 2 to just be like PoE 1. Well, I mean, that's one of the things. If you read Reddit, and if you don't, believe me, I can understand why you wouldn't. A lot of the old-timers have a lot of complaints. And I've been playing it for like 8 years. Every league for like 8 years, since Abyss League, just before it. And we were kind of told that, yeah, we were going to be getting PoE 2. Which will be like PoE 1, but betterer. Instead, we got PoE 1 Ruthless, which most of the old-timers didn't like and weren't interested in. Now, theoretically, I mean, I've heard, I don't know if it's true, a lot of the new players love PoE 2. didn't like PoE 1. But they're coming at it as a individual game that they're going to play, they're going to finish, they're going to put down. Whereas the PoE 2 player base, which is the money, the players who every league, buy a supporter pack. That's how they make their money. The new players aren't those kind of players, and most of them won't become that kind of player. They're buying it as a one-time purchase. They're playing the game. They're enjoying it. Some of them may come back occasionally, but they're not going to be the chronic every 3 months. Everybody comes back. And to some degree, you have got to tailor the game, PoE 2, around the expectations of the PoE 1 player base. It doesn't have to be the same thing. But it can't ignore all of the changes that have been welcomed or unwelcomed in PoE 1. Always be something like that, but it's a new base, plus there's a lot of people from D4 who know what kind of game it is. Well, one of the things I was hearing an opinion I agree with entirely, that a lot of new players are finding the game, saying this correctly is tough, they find the game much simpler to comprehend and much more difficult to play. The bossing is harder. The power level is lower. And so a lot of them are not playing as far as they would if the game were more forgiving, especially in the early game. In the later game, things speed up, your skills come online, you get gear that makes the game feel more PoE 1-ish. But at the start, it feels like a very, very punitive and unfriendly version of PoE 1. It is easier to understand, it is not easier to play. Yeah, and by the way, these are my opinions, and every player will have different opinions. And if you're having fun, that's the only thing that matters. It doesn't matter if you're enjoying the crappiest mobile game around. If you're having fun, keep playing.
I have ignition.
Feel no shame.
I give up.
Play the games you're having fun. Play them how you have fun with them. I want to be clear
Nothing
about
will
that.
bring me down.
I wouldn't tell anyone to not play PoE 1 as it's free. Right now, I would not recommend everyone run out and get early access to PoE 2 because you have to buy it.
I'd show
Pay
you.
for it. When it's free to play, then yeah, I would recommend it to pretty
then
much
off.
everyone. To try it, see if you like it.
That was a blast.
Small things like the vendor recipes, having gems tied to gear, having you spend more time engaging the game, and remembering certain tidbits of information. Yeah, I mean,
I am awesome.
generally things like the vendor recipes are conveniences. They're not necessary. But things like, for instance, the crafting bench feel more necessary than ever before. Because it is so difficult to do things that are
Structural integrity.
pretty much required for the endgame, things like capping your resists. And the current in-game PoE 2 crafting system is not a crafting system, except at the very, very highest levels, using components that most people haven't seen, may not even be aware exist. It's a pure RNG game right now. You see, the crafting, I will not agree, is broken. That is a core gameplay element. has always been crafting in PoE. And now there is none. Adding a random affix isn't really crafting. Al, that is
Nothing can
pure
bring me
RNG.
down.
I agree they deserve some slack, but there are certain elements of the game that are foundation, that are not really tunable without major overhauls. And as an example of that would be the campaign maps. They decided, instead of going with a smaller map where you have one objective per map, basically, for the most part, to have multiple objectives on very, very large maps. And this results in a large amount of time spent running around in parts of maps that you've already emptied out. That's just not fun. And there's no way to fix that without doing a major overhaul on every map in the game. That's a huge amount of work. So I don't think that is
Nothing can bring me down.
going to occur. I don't think the design supports making significant changes
Defense,
to the
then
campaign
offense.
maps. Now, the endgame mapping definitely needs changing. No, the endgame maps definitely need changing, but that's an entirely different kettle of fish. That is a work in progress where a lot of tuning will be done. Now, I'm talking about the campaign maps. Those realistically cannot get changed for release. They would have to completely redo the quest flow, not just through the maps in the game, but through the maps that are not yet in the game, but are for the most part
Might
designed.
makes me right.
So that's not happening, even if it's something they really would want to do, because that's a huge investment. Do I plan on going back to Lord of the Rings Online in the future? I would assume so. I am a itinerant gamer. I almost always go back to games that I enjoy. And I do have over 5,000 hours in Lord of the Rings Online, so my expectation is, yeah, I'll go back. I don't know when,
Fire! Do my bidding.
but I expect I will.
Come here.
Alright, we hit him. Let's bust down some portals of doom. Let's see if we can res these people. Resed one.
I owe you my life.
Got out of the boo zone. The other person got resed as well.
Help me. I'm hurt.
We heal as one. The compact is sworn.
Oh dear. Alright, let's finish off the Shadow Behemoth, shall we? Kind of a jerk.
Quickly.
I mean, so when I'm done here this evening, I will probably be playing more PoE 2. Whoops.
You will obey.
On my... working my third character up into
Fury is mine.
closer to endgame stuff. I got a couple characters in the 60s, and frankly, the endgame as it currently is, the mapping system, is deeply bad right now.
Torment is my
Maps are
ally.
big and boring, and the endgame is just dumb.
Bam!
Ooh, I don't want to die. I don't want to die. Don't make me die.
Getting healthier. The compact is sworn.
Somebody gave me a heal. Been fantastic.
Last.
For sure, stand out of the year for you.
Return, my friend.
Next is Salako. Don't know Salako. I know Balatro. I leveled up. I'm level 26. Presents. We need to open 2 more. Get 4 more. We need to open 3 more. There we go.
it.
Get 4 more. And a personalized Wintersday gift. Yay! Let's drink that. At that. Oh god, so much stuff. Why does there have to be so much stuff when we win? Wait, am I complaining about that? Never mind. We don't use torches.
Begin destruction protocol.
And we don't wear that kind of armor around here. Let's see. Yeah, you can use it, can't you? Why can't you use that? Fine, you can use it. There. You happy now? Happy? Big baby. Oh my god. Such a whiner. Must not be of a level to use that. Fine, 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 fine. Oh, new gloves. That means new dies. Not a complete loss then. New spear. A new spear. A 243 for a 280 something? 282. I am powerful. I am mighty. Fear me. No,
This
or not.
is the only proper course.
Not fearing me is probably the better cause. A shooter made custom... Oh, in custom GZ Zoom. Inspired by mid to late 2000 shooters. The things they call boomer shooters. I've heard of boomer shooters. On account of I'm a boomer. And I've played shooters. Now, you want to know what a real boomer is like. Steel yourself. The first Wolfenstein game, I played that. That was on the Apple II. And it was made by a game company called Muse. It had voice synthesis in it. I broke a Defiance bar, and I salvaged 10 items. Can I do a rift hunt in this map? No. It was worth a try. Also, early access for you. Absolutely fantastic campaign game. Amazing replayability as well. Yeah, I can certainly see a replayability in a game like that. Sure. And despite having defeated the Shadow Behemoth, I'm still only like 2/3 done with the heart on this map. This is one of the worst hearts in the game. It's dreadful. And what would be really nice is if they would go back and slightly tune the amount of contribution you get for doing things. So instead of getting, 3% or whatever for killing the shade of a heart, you get 4. First time you saw touchscreen, it was amazing. Well, I worked in Silicon Valley, so I've seen a lot of things very early on. And sometimes they turned into nothing, and sometimes they turned into something huge. And nobody knew which was going to be which. And don't let anyone tell you otherwise. Because I saw simple touch screens, although they were using styluses, styli. Late 80s. Oh, I was amazed by all kinds of stuff. Absolutely. But a lot of the stuff that amazed me is stuff that never really turned into anything. One of the companies I worked for was called General Magic. And there's a documentary about General Magic out there. Because basically what it was is it was a device about yay big. There were two flavors of them made. One of them was wireless, and that was made by Motorola. The other was wired, and you plugged it into a regular phone jack. And all of those things that appeared in the iPhone, the first iPhone that made it this just absolute landscape-changing, technology-changing thing, were all present in the Sony Magic Link and the Motorola Envoy. And yeah, it was amazing. But the technology just wasn't quite there yet. Because basically there was nothing that those two machines weren't doing that the iPhone didn't do. Or there's nothing the iPhone did that they didn't. But the technology just wasn't quite there. But yeah, I've seen some amazing stuff. The first ever mobile device driven web server. Oh no, Sony's hardware was fine. It was great. The software was all from General Magic, and the hardware design. They did the manufacturing. It was a very cool thing. If you read the reviews at the time, they were very good, very strong. That, you know, this was a very interesting, seemingly powerful technology. It just wasn't, you know, clear if it was going to be commercially viable. In this particular case, it wasn't. But back then, Sony's hardware stuff was great. Their consumer electronics and everything was fucking the best. Keep in mind, I'm talking, that is mid-90s.
Better than you deserve. Humans cannot stop us, for we are the wind itself. Where we run, they tremble.
But certainly Sony having something and bungling it has become rather a trademark of them these days. I'll grant you that for sure. Why do people keep doing that?
To my side!
He's not going to let me do this, is he? Where do you think you're going? Quit horsing around. I can't believe I actually said that out loud. Let me move away from here and swap maps. So, to be frank, it is a company. You're talking about it as a hive mind. Well, I mean, to some degree, there's always going to be some... Holy crap, that's not the one. Some truth in that you do have groupthink. Nobody wants to be the guy who says that's not going to work. To his boss. The company, General Magic, was basically had funding from just about every tech company that was important at the time. Fascinating company, and the people who worked there was like a long list of people who now run big name companies. It famously had the hardest interview in Silicon Valley. Mind you, I didn't have to interview for my job. I started as a contractor, and after working there for a few months, got a job offer. So I didn't have to interview, but generally it was famous for having the hardest job interview in history in Silicon Valley. And despite that, I ended up working there. Oh, I forgot. We've got more pants. We now have 2 new items of attire, so I have, if I don't like my first set of dyes, I get to re-dye it. There we go. Yeah, that's a bit much. I suspect even for EBM. Wow. I'm going to apply that. What do we got? We have icing, dry silver, and pale.
You mean Ettins don't work well with other Ettins?
Yeah, I worked with a lot of really fascinating people in Silicon Valley. I'm not one of them, but I've worked with a lot of really cool, interesting people. The guy who was in charge of the Android phone, Andy Hertzfeld, worked at General Magic. A number of the original Macintosh team worked at General Magic. The former Chief Information Officer of the United States, Megan Smith, worked at General Magic. No. That wasn't said in false modesty or anything. It's just true. I mean, I worked in IT. I worked in IT at a number of different companies. I worked with a lot of really interesting, talented people. I was good at my job. My job wasn't any big deal. I was no great innovator or anything. I worked in IT. I kept everything working. An important role, but that doesn't mean that I was an important person. Stop shooting arrows at a guy who's running away. I tell you, centaurs, man, they're just jerks. Yeah, it is relative. So, for instance, in Silicon Valley terms, if you're familiar with 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon, my degrees of separation with people is really close. I worked with a guy who has a screen credit and a line in Terminator 2. He was a consultant, a technical consultant to James Cameron on Terminator 2, and he was on set, and
Fight on, my tribe.
James Cameron said, "Hey, Larry, why don't you just sit down there and look like you're working on something?" And he had Joe Morton go, like, "How's it going, Larry?" Patting him on the back. Okay, so I worked with Larry. So I'm 1 degree further away from James Cameron and everyone James Cameron has ever worked with in Hollywood. So I know a lot of pretty cool people, and they know a lot of really cool people. Let's see. I've been copied on mails that went to Steve Wozniak. There were like 6 or 8 of us on the mailing list, which was a little bit of a mind blower for me. So, I mean, working in the 80s and the 90s in Silicon Valley, I was surrounded by a lot of amazing people and a lot of amazing stuff. How are we doing? We're 80% done with the map. Feels like it should be more. Then I haven't been doing very organized completion here. I've been just sort of running around like the proverbial chicken with my head cut off. Oh, the fog's in. All right, I'll res you. Come on, get up, you lazy lump. Oh, they're going in to blow up the Skrit. Did I finish? Yeah, I finished this heart. All right, well. I'm not going to protect them. They're on their own. I finished this heart. We've got, Beetleton. Or Beetlestone. Whatever the hell it is. Beetleville. Oh, and then this. Oh, yeah, this heart. Trying to avoid this heart. This heart's terrible, too. If there's nobody else doing it, this heart's not terrible. But otherwise, it can be a real pain in the tuchus, shall we say. It's another one of those where... yep, there's one person here, at least. Ugh. This one's dreadful. This one is terrible when there are lots of people in it. I'll come back to this one in a few. The problem with this is there are a limited number of things you can do for progress on the heart. And if anyone else is doing them, you can't. It's just, it's a poorly designed heart. And another one of those hearts I would love to see them go through. Trying to live and sitting there playing Skyrim thinking, whoa, I wonder what this gaming will be like in 10 years. Believe me, I completely identify. I remember having a friend over at my house and I'm showing him the opening cinematic from Mech Warrior 2. And we're going, imagine what this will look like in 10 years. And our best guesses weren't even close. Yes, okay, that's probably a good point. Yeah, in 10 years, we'll all be playing the third remaster of VR that plugs directly into your brain of Skyrim. Looking forward to it. It's back. That painting, that graffiti you just drew, most of the time it doesn't appear. That's another level. And a heart. Okay, how about that? All right, multiple swords. Yeah, that is a 216. Regular sword, right? Yep, 289. That's bad spear. Those aren't as good as what I'm currently using. Nor
I was manufactured to the highest standards.
How's it going?
Consume.
I should speak to the minister. I'm sure he'll listen to me. Even if that's true.
We also have another hero point over here. 87% done in the map. Really interesting to see what Larian are up to next. That's BG3 guys, right? Well, we know it won't be BG4 or BG3 Plus. Saw an interview with the CEO and they were asked if BG3 was their dream game. Oh yeah, no, of course it's not. I can guarantee you it wasn't going to be their dream game. For the simple reason it's not their IP. Their creative people want to do their creative stuff. Yeah, they definitely want to do something else. Completely understandable. I mean, what was probably the dream part about it was having the resources to be able to throw all of the development time and money and voice work and everything that they wanted to. And now they'll be able to do that on their own. Yeah, imagine you're a writer. Sure, you get to come up with some cool characters and whatnot, but you're still limited. They've got to fall into the D&D requirements, storyline elements, and races, and all that stuff. I mean, those guys have got to be the writers, the concept artists. Those guys have all got to be just absolutely rubbing their hands together and licking their chops. I hope they don't take the easy way out, though, and just do a standard boilerplate fantasy thing. Elves, dwarves, dragons. I am so sick of elves, dwarves, and dragons. The only game that I never get sick of elves, dwarves, and dragons is Lord of the Rings Online, because, hey, Tolkien invented that stuff, okay? He gets a pass. The rest of them, I am just sick and tired of it. I almost didn't play Guild Wars 2 because, oh, look, dragons. Yeah, Wizards sadly has become, well, and the overlords at Hasbro. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, they have Divinity, and again, it is pretty much a standard kind of boilerplate fantasy world. And I find that really uninteresting. It's been done to death. For instance, when they first announced Guild Wars 2, I was interested, and then I saw something about dragons. I went, oh, not more dragons. Okay, I'm not interested after all. And then I saw, I think it was at Gamescom, where they had like 40 or 50 people playing the fight against Tequatl. I went, okay, dragons or not, I'm interested again. Because that was the first kind of, actual, hey, that's an epic dragon fight, kind of dragon fight I'd ever seen in a game. And that person feels the need to kill the mobs completely. He can't even let me get a hit in. I've received 100 messages today. Well, thank you, Henselt. I think you're responsible for a good 80 of those. I appreciate that, by the way. I think I'm a better stream, and my stream is better when I have an active chat. So thank you. I like that they didn't do too much of the sort of boilerplate stuff. They have dwarves in Guild Wars 1 and now a little bit in Guild Wars 2. But they kind of do away with them in Guild Wars 1. And they do it in a very cool way. They all go through a ritual that turns them into stone, and then they march down into the depths of the world to fight the minions of Primordus. It's like, okay, that's fucking metal. So they, despite the fact, yes, dwarves, underground, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, they did that standard stuff. They actually changed up to some degree the stuff. It wasn't the same old. Now, definitely the Sylvari feel elvish. The Asura are, well, semi-psychotic gnomes. So there are some similarities, but at least they went through the trouble. They didn't generally just do the minimal stuff that you see far too many games do. Wow. Where Oh, I accidentally did that. Where they will create a new race. EverQuest did this terrible. Where they'll just take an animal and make a human version of it. And then they'll change the name around a little. It's the laziest kind of non-creative creativity you can have. So for instance, oh, I've got an idea. Frogs. Okay, we'll make human frogs. What do we call them? Froglocks. Okay, Froglocks. We've got a new race. Oh my God. And WoW did the exact same thing with the Volpera. Okay, well, we've got a... Let's see. We need to interest more furry players. What are we going to do? Well, let's see. We could take foxes, yeah, and make them like human. Okay, what do we call them? Volpera. Okay, we've got a new race. It's the laziest kind of non-creative creativity.
I wonder if the centaurs would be less hostile if we shared our beer with them.
I think they want our land and crops, not our beer.
You're guilty for Warhammer for which? And also, which Warhammer? The Fantasy Warhammer or the Warhammer 40k? I've definitely done more stuff with the 40k than I have with Warhammer Fantasy. I mean, I played Warhammer Age of Reckoning. I have that installed right now on my computer, actually.
I fear for my life every time I leave the monastery.
Why is that?
Hi, my friend.
Would I? Thanks. I think this beer will be a big hit. But then that's because I like all beer. That's not true. I don't like all beer. There's a lot of beer that is not tasty at all. This is another bad heart. Well, if you've never played it, it's probably on sale right now on Steam. There is an ARPG 40k game, which I like a lot. Inquisitor Martyr. And they also had an expansion for it. More old world than AOS, just being picky. Well, that seems to be pretty consistent opinion across most people who played Warhammer Fantasy in the past, is that they prefer the older version to Age of Sigmar.
Now you suffer.
For the Tamini!
I have dropped a lot of hours into it. So you might want to check on Steam and see what the price is right now. You know, if you're a Warhammer 40k fan and an ARPG fan, there's a pretty good chance you're going to find it entertaining. I very seldom give recommendations, flat recommendations for anything that isn't free. Because, well, money is a real thing. And so, for instance, I'll recommend PoE 1 to players at the free version to see if they like it. And when PoE 2 becomes released and is free, I'll recommend that. You know, I'll recommend Guild Wars 2 to try the core game because it's free. I have looked into No Rest for the Wicked. At the time they released, it seemed very, very much like they were trying to do a Souls-like ARPG, where the boss fights were Souls-like. Well, now that I've played a similar design paradigm in PoE 2, and I've managed okay with the bosses, generally speaking, even though they're very difficult, I might be able to play No Rest for the Wicked. I had assumed I wouldn't be able to because I have no interest in Souls-likes. Because I'm not a good enough gamer And the way I describe it is there's the people who like Souls-likes, they enjoy the core gameplay loop, which makes sense. I mean, that's why we all play games. We enjoy the core gameplay loop of the games we're playing. In their case, they enjoy banging their head against a boss, banging their head and dying and dying and dying and dying, and making a little progress and dying and dying, and more progress and dying and dying, and finally beating it. And they get this huge burst of brain chemicals. Like, yes, triumph, victory. Yeah, I don't get that. What I get instead is, oh, thank God the pain's over.
I think they want our land and crops, not our beer.
So, as much as I would love to play Elden Ring, because it's beautiful and it's interesting, I'm not a good enough gamer. I wouldn't enjoy banging my head against it. Because I don't enjoy really, basically, banging my head against games. Don't think PoE 2 is anything like Elden Ring or Dark Souls. Well, a lot of people have certainly made the correlation. Now, certainly not everyone has agreed with it, unsurprisingly. Oh, I'd missed this one, too. You know, the freedom to build in the Elder Souls games, or the Souls games, is something you could make similarities to with the ARPGs. Various gear with various builds works well. But I would agree that they're certainly more different than they are same. There are parts that have similarities. And the PoE devs have talked specifically as one of the inspirations has been the Dark Souls games. So they are going for a more challenging gameplay loop, especially for bosses. Yeah, gaining the knowledge to beat the games. Well, yeah, I've also heard that the Souls games aren't really action games. What they are is puzzle games, where you have to solve the puzzle, and the puzzle is an action puzzle. Yeah, and I know speedrunning is part and parcel of the Souls games, and doing it with weird, no hit, no armor, stricture type gameplay choices and stuff. So there's a lot of replayability in people giving themselves challenges in those games. And to some degree, you also do get that out of Path of Exile. I hope I didn't bite off more than I can chew. PoE has gauntlets that will be run. They're usually privately run, where they'll have a league, a special version of a league that has all kinds of very, very difficult challenges added in. Is this new and improved? It is very slightly new and improved. And of course, it went to the place I didn't want it to, of course, because that's what it always goes. Let's see. Yeah, that goes there. Thank you. Forcing you to pay attention to its systems. Yes. No, I think it is really well designed, but I do have one thing that drives me crazy about the Souls games, which is the toxic elitism of some of the player base. Where when the subject of making an easier version comes in, and they say, oh, you can't do that. It wouldn't be the same. It has to be this hard, or it wouldn't be a challenge. And that to me also means then if it's very specific challenge level, then you can't have Game Plus, but you have Game Plus. So why can you have Game Plus but not Game Minus? Don't always play games on hard mode. I do love game that is well balanced and challenge. Yeah, I myself am, I will not hesitate to admit, I am the opposite of the challenge-based gamer. I play to have fun. I will always opt for a lower challenge level. Some of it is because I'm getting older and I play for, different reasons. And even if I were still interested in the challenge, nowhere near as much as I used to be. But I can certainly understand the people who want. One of the things I would like, as an example, in Guild Wars 2, 98% done with the map. Almost there. One of the things I would like to see done in Guild Wars 2, and I think should be done in a game like Guild Wars 2, is that the story instances should be easy. And I mean easy. Because you don't want to block a player from having access to the story. What you should do is have different levels. You have a story level of difficulty. You have the normal level. You have challenge levels, mythic levels, legendary levels, whatever you want, whatever you feel is important and appropriate. And they have better rewards. I mean, that's something that WoW is doing really, really well now. Is this the one I want? Yeah, I've got that one. They have added story difficulty to their dungeons. Not saying you do, but for when you do, the game is challenging, it's more engaging, the experience is more intense. I would certainly agree it is more intense. May not be engaging for me. I may find it frustrating. But I certainly agree that it is a completely valid point of view to hold. I am a huge fan of differing difficulties. Preferably with differing rewards. So WoW has implemented not only a solo-friendly game mode with delves in the latest expansion, but they've also implemented storyline difficulty for the dungeons. It is such a player-friendly approach that I can't do anything but express admiration for that coming out of WoW. And that historically, that's not WoW. When it's well balanced, you know it's something you need to figure out. Yeah, if that's what you're going in with the interest of doing, absolutely. I mean, for certain types of content, I think that's completely appropriate. Let me turn it down. For instance, historically, dungeons and raids in WoW. I did raiding in vanilla. Karazhan, AQ20, and Zul'Gurub. A couple other raids. But we were not doing the big 40-man content, Molten Core, and stuff like that. And so we were never going to get the coolest looking gear, and I was fine with that. Guild Wars 2 for you is a chill game? Generally, yes. I mean, it is a game that has difficulty if you want it. If you want to do challenge mode fractals, or you want to do raids, that content is in the game. It is, but most of the content is casual friendly. A lot of people say it's a casual game. I don't agree with that. It is a casual friendly game. That I agree. So my crap. No, it's very much not consistent. One of my issues with the game is how often storyline content in particular, which I was just saying 5 minutes ago, needs to be easy. A lot of it is. And some of it is face-mashingly difficult. And that's one of my biggest issues. Yes, it does spike. The difficulty spikes absolutely. Some of those instances, the storyline instances, are murderous, especially if you're not a good player. There is not much of a curve. Yeah, it's basically either, straightforward, relatively simple stuff, which is great and should be for story. But some of those story instances are murder. And potentially blockers or make people rage quit. I quit for, 4 months or 6 months at some point due to one of the storyline instances. Black lion chest. I need one of those. I don't need one of those because I didn't open my box yet. Did I get a key? You see, I jinxed it now. I was looking up black lion chest, almost bought one. I'm sure I don't get a key. Yeah, you see, I jinxed it. I jinxed myself. Yep, I get frustrated with the difficulty too. You hit it right on the nose when you said it's just not consistent. Because it's just not. And I think it's an issue.
We have completed the task at hand.
Nowadays, but we try.
It was Living World Season 2 or 3? 3. First, the instance in... I can't remember the name of the map. And then secondly, the one that really got me. The first one I rage quit on. The second one, when I came back a few weeks later, I was playing and I got to the final fight against Caudicus. And I just guess that my deaths for that were 120 to 140 was my guess for the number of deaths. Because I death marched it. And I'd been at it for like 20 minutes and I almost rage quit. And I said, if I don't finish this now, I never will. So I just stayed and it took me, an hour, just dying constantly to get through it. Storyline stuff should never be that difficult. Ever. That should be optional. There should be an option to do it in a more difficult fashion with better rewards. But the storyline stuff should never, ever do that to a player. Never make them want to quit the game. Because you know what happens if they quit the game? You don't get their money anymore. Superior Sigil of Generosity. Does that sell for anything? I don't know. Sure. Now that's one of the reasons I talk about I have a love-hate-love relationship with Guild Wars 2. I love the game. I have well over 5,000 hours in it. But there are things in the game that just drive me crazy and I hate them. And even with that, though, I still love the game.
Can't remember my orders.
Think they could mess with personal difficulty settings. I would also love to see them add a story mode to dungeons. I think that would be a nice
Grant me your strength, my friend.
win for the most of the player base. Ooh, 24 points. Yay! Let's see, gain power, then gain extra power while you're revealed. Sure. Sure. And poison you inflict has increased damage and duration. Other deadly art traits supply additional stacks of poison. Well, who doesn't like poison? I'm not doing a dual wield or dagger, so we use that one. Base power immobes them below 50. We'll go with that. For now. Let's get started with the second chapter of the personal story. I guess we need to go back and talk with Air. Yeah, I've got 4,500 hours on this account and another 500 hours on a second account. So it's one of 3 games that I know I've played 5,000 hours or more of, along with WoW and Lord of the Rings Online. So it's obvious that this is a game that I love. But some things in it just drive me nuts.
Good to see you again, Slayer.
Hi, Air.
We have to talk.
Do we?
I know. I just decided.
Do we have to?
I'll get straight to the point, Slayer. Do you want to get even with Mikkel Toivoson?
Of course. He goaded me into a fight at the moot and cheated me out of the win. Now he refuses a rematch while bragging that my victories only add to his legend.
He's a jerk.
Then you should.
By the way, my
big
coat
brawl.
and my gloves,
Mikkel is last year's
they
champion.
look like a
If you
sofa
beat him
from
in
the
the
80s.
finals, you take his title.
You know, the leather
A
ones or
public
cloth
thrashing
ones
will
with
shut
buttons
his bragging mouth
everywhere.
for good.
It's not a good
an
look.
Excellent plan.
Thanks, but there's a catch. White Bear is opening it up to everyone this year, not just Norn. We have no clue what opponents you may face.
The tougher the competition, the greater the glory.
There you go.
It'll make taking down Mikkel
Pardon
that
the
much
yawn, old
sweeter.
man.
Where do I start?
I was hoping you'd say that. Garm and I will see you at Edinvar's homestead for the preliminary bout. We wouldn't miss it for all the ale and Tyria.
I don't know, that's a lot of ale. Sounds pretty good, actually. Huh. Anyway, where are we going? We're going there. A new challenger. Canut! It's Canut! Because sometimes you feel like a Canut, and sometimes you
Why
don't.
are you here, Slayer? Even if you reach the finals, I'll just stomp you. Why waste everybody's time?
If it's so easy, you should be happy for the chance to do it again. Or we could just
Okay.
fight now and get
3
it over
a.m.
with.
No.
You're a
I wanna
crazy
see you
person. Thank you
humiliated
for
by
hanging out
everyone
very
else.
much.
Go ahead.
Sleep
Enter.
well.
You'll never even make it to the finals.
White Bear's about to start things off, Mikkel. Stand aside and let our newest
Mickle.
contestant check
Rhymes
in.
with pickle.
I'm ready. The sooner we start, the sooner I can wipe the smirk off that cheater's face.
Very well. In this preliminary free-for-all, only the last 2 brawlers
Pardon
standing
me,
move
on
to the next
again.
round. Once you're in the circle, the fight begins.
Good luck in the brawl, Slayer.
Luck is not a factor.
Participants, stand by. The free-for-all is about to begin.
Is it actually free? I'm dubious.
Stand ready, and fight!
Pay attention.
Oh, you jerks. Trying to gang up on me? I don't think so.
Hold fast.
Hi, guys.
Join me!
Don't let them overwhelm you.
Overwhelm me. I'm just whelming them.
Keep fighting.
Thanks, Air.
Oh, we have our winners.
Easy peasy.
A worthy competitor. You were right about this one, Air. Choose a challenge for the next round, Slayer, since you did the best here. Your opponent will take the other challenge. After that, the big brawl
Pardon
resumes.
on again.
The first choice is Nolar, a vicious and prideful son of Svanir who likes to stir up trouble. To preserve the peace, Nolar needs to be humbled. Second is Heka Ravenswealth, a Solitude Vale merchant who says the area is infested with Morellos, a new and dangerous beast. They're ruining her business and need to be removed.
Morello, wasn't he like the
Choose
guitarist
challengers,
for Rage
battle
Against the
them,
Machine?
then report to my char friend Baltius Bloodletter in Butcher's Block. He's an expert in staging such contests. Whoever reaches Baltius first advances to the second round. Take a moment to decide, and then tell me which path you're taking. Best of luck.
That doesn't actually seem like a good contest. I can't resist the chance to beat down a son of Svanir. Jerks.
Good luck in your challenge, Slayer.
They're jerks. And another level for me. Straubleberries. I mean, it's not as good as a schnozberry, but, you know, it'll do. And we exit. Where are we off to next? Svanirville. Sort of. First attack. Bunch of Jormag kissers is what they are. Oh yeah, you heard.
Look at this, Ronnie. A little lost rabbit.
Better be a careful rabbit, eh, Toomey? Dragon doesn't like her kind.
That's all you've got for me? Losers.
Idiot. If those ice barrels break, they'll explode. Are you lost or just stupid?
Yes.
This is Sons of Svanir territory. Run home before you get hurt.
I'm here to challenge Nolar, and I'm not leaving until he comes out and fights me. First, I'll teach him manners. Then I'll take his helm.
His helm? Ha ha! You'll never even see Nolar. My brothers will crack your skull open long before he gets
That
here.
doesn't seem very sporting.
Go on, call your friends. I could use a warm-up for
Oh,
the
there's some
real
quality
fight.
smack.
All right, boys. Let's kill this punk.
Got company. Get out here and tear this idiot apart.
Who do you think you are coming here? You must want to die.
Yep, that's exactly what I want to do. I want to die. I want to die gloriously kicking Sons of Svanir
Time to kill you.
ass. Come on, Nolar. You loser.
Enough. Let's put this fool in the ground once and for all.
Let me know how that works out for you. Oh. Not that well, seems like. You must be Nolar. The loser.
What in Dragon's name is going on? I told you idiots to lay low until sundown.
Wow, nice hat. You must
Ooh,
be Nolar.
ooh, solid burn.
Yeah, I'm Nolar, and you're dead. Jormag's tooth, what have you done to them?
Kicked.
Same as what I'll do to you. Beat you bloody. Ha! But with you, I'll use that fancy hat as my chamber pot.
It's not a hat, you Doliak's ass. It's a sacred helm. A vision of Jormag led me to it.
Yeah.
It means he has chosen me.
Uh-huh.
In his name, I will break you.
No, I think the chamber pot thing is more likely. Gotta say.
Nobody gets to wear my helmet but me.
Ooh.
Where are you, idiot? I need a... I cannot. I was chosen by Jormag himself.
Well. Or possibly Jormag just wanted me to have that nice chamber pot.
Don't worry, Nolar. I'll take good care of your hat.
It's not a hat, you new Doyaxars!
And tell your boys to behave, or they'll see me again. And I won't be so gentle next time.
I would say that's a solid burn on the sons there. Let's see. Oh, way better. Power, Vit, toughness. Oh, we'll go with Vit. And we'll equip it. Got another bag. Papa's got a brand new bag. No. Crafting supplies, take those. A strawberry ghost. Torch I can't use. Horn I can't use. Let's face it, a horn does not seem very thiefy to me. It seems more like you're trying to announce yourself to everyone. Which is probably not, optimal. Wow, that's not as good as what I'm already using. Iron harvesting sickle. Rifle we could use. Axe, we got one. We have, that's a 285, that's a 183. Okay, we did not want that there, thank you anyway.
Target destroyed.
We got no new items of attire. That means no new dye. Sorry. I'm going to stand here over their inert, beaten up bodies for just a moment longer. And then
Time to evict these sons of Svanir!
where to next? I have just noticed that Snoopy said that Warhammer Battle Sector is a good turn-based game. I do like good turn-based games. I've heard the name, and I'm pretty sure at some point I looked it up. Where are we off to next? Meet up with Balteus. Into the Diessa Plateau. Well, there's a hero point here. I should grab the hero point. I think it'd be rude if I didn't, Hey, I beat her even though she's a cheetah. Get it? A cheetah. It's a... She didn't actually cheat. And here we go. The semifinals. Balteus Bloodletter. Hey, BB, how you doing?
Balteus Bloodletter?
Balteus Bloodletter's Big Brawl.
I've got the token I received for completing the second challenge right here.
Congratulations, you're in. Welcome to the semifinals. It'll be all uphill from here. This round of the Big Brawl is all one-on-ones. There are 3 rounds and 2 rules. Don't leave the ring, and don't kill anybody. Got it?
I got it. 3 rounds, 3 wins, 3 steps closer to me shutting Mikkel Toivonen up for good.
Mikkel the Pickle.
You really don't like that guy, do you? I've had a few ears full of his obnoxious boasting myself. Here's hoping you can shut his big mouth. Provided you can get past the semifinals.
Oh, I will. Trust me. All right, Balteus, let's party. I'm ready. Let's go.
Welcome to the semifinals of the Big Brawl. Who will be crowned best mayhem maker in all of Tyria?
Gulthor?
Our first contestant hails from the frozen city of Hallbreck. Let's welcome the mighty slayer of the ice swarm, Isarmir.
Hi there, that's me. How you doing?
Wanted by the self, feared by
The one and only
everywhere. It's
Slayer of
Gulthor
Isarmir?
Cruelhoof. Two warriors, each hungry for victory, each thirsty for blood. Contestants, ready yourselves and fight!
I demand an opponent worthy of my strength.
Missed me.
You cannot stop me. You are not strong enough.
Did you see that?
You'll be in the
Of course
midst
you did.
long before me.
And that bone is officially broken. Congratulations to the winner of round one, the Slayer of Isarmir.
Was there ever any
We're
doubt?
just getting started. Stay put, folks. You don't want to miss any of round two's mind-blowing action.
A true fighter. Even I had to pay attention.
Wow. Of course, I'm not human. I am a Norn. I'm not an invasive species like the humans. Let's go. Who's next?
Looks like our Norn contestant is ready for more.
Harris.
Who else is ready for round two? Our Silvari contestant is pretty as a flower, but she's more bite than bark. Welcome, Kaharis. We have here two contestants, each sure of fight, each ready to brawl. Contestants, ready yourselves and fight!
Follow the wind, wherever it may go.
Are you going to just stand there? Okay, there we go. Now you can sit down.
Such savage.
Don't underestimate me. I must go on. I can't let my injuries stop me.
Some shout timber, because that tree's been felled. Round two goes to the Slayer.
Of course it does.
The best is yet to come. Still time to place your bets, but hurry. Round three is coming right up.
It was a good fight, but I can see there's still more for me to learn.
Yes, there is. What is it? Spatha Greatblade? They have a name, so I'm thinking that's them.
What a
It is.
titanic display of pugilistic perfection. Can it get any better? Of course it can. Our last contestant kills at will, and even gives ghosts nightmares. Let's hear it for Spatha Greatblade.
Yeah.
This is it. Two remaining challengers, each ready to knock the other out of contention. Contestants, ready yourselves. And fight!
You should be grateful you even had a chance to step into the ring with me.
What are you doing out
No lumbering beast could be a match for a Char Warrior. You can't win. I'll crush you.
Maybe
Your
you shouldn't
moves
say
were
that
well
when you're laying
executed,
down on the
strong.
ground.
You have a bright future ahead.
Defeated. Humbled. At the hands.
Not bad at all. I'm impressed enough to bet a big stack of coins on you to be Toivoson now. Don't let me down.
Oh, I won't.
Don't worry, you're gonna win that bet. The guy's been giving me grief for a long time, and I'm gonna give it back 10 times over.
Oh, before I forget, I've got a message for you from Heir Stigulkin. She said to give it to you when, not if, you win this round.
See?
She wants you to meet her at her homestead before the final fight. Do you really know her? If I could book a fighter like her, I could retire early.
I think her tournament days are over, but I'll pass that along when I see her. Thanks for the info, Balteus. I'll see you at the final round.
And you're buying me the first drink. Oh, 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 oh. New pants.
Finished.
New pants is, by anyone's definition, a new item of attire. Which means new dyes. Alright, let's see. That is a 189, so that's better. We can't use that. Can't use that. And the 255 pistol. Better than that one.
We have completed the task at hand.
Bank all the stuff for crafting. And we'll take a quick peek. And we're going to change up our dyes again. Go. And the new dyes. Currently, we're icing, pale, and dry silver, and the new ones, may the gods be merciful. Okay, not terrible. We have demure, because Lord knows I am a demure, humble, pale little flower, and shadow abyss, and also a little shadow green tossed in there around the edges. And now it's time to beat Mickle the Pickle.
Over already?
And where's this one? In the Black Citadel? No. Oh, I have to meet Air. Right. I have to meet Air. Well, to forgive is human, but Air is divine.
Good to see you again, Slayer. Come, we have to talk.
I learned Mickle's hurt a lot of people. I'm ready to teach him a lesson for us all. Let me ask you a question. Of the foes you faced in the tournament so far, which is your biggest challenge? Nolar and the Sons of Svanir, they were the only ones actually trying to kill me. The Jar, he had a perfect mix of savagery and skill. The Centaur, Balthar, rarely seen such focus and determination. The Silvari, Kaharis, so friendly outside the ring, but inside a fearsome opponent. The biggest challenge was the one where I could die. You fought Sons of Svanir before, but they surprised you. Even the most familiar foe can get you off guard. Remember this, we'll fight at Mickle. When can I start? Let's test what you've learned. We'll spar, you and I. Sounds like fun. Maybe you can teach me a few tricks.
Stand back, Garm. I want you as a witness to this fight, not a participant. Prepare yourself. I won't go easy on you.
It's fine. Fear. Cheap trick. It's a cheap trick, Air. Fear.
Losing blood.
The cheap trick, not a sheep.
That was excellent. I've seen you fight before, but you're truly in top form now. I think you're ready for this.
I've never felt stronger or surer, and I chalk that up to everything I've learned from you. Thank you, Air.
No thanks necessary, Slayer. It was my pleasure to help you realize your potential. Mickle is in for the toughest fight of his life. Make your way to the Great Lodge where Newt and Mickle are waiting. Come on, Garm. This is one tournament fight we don't want to miss.
Doopy-doo-doopy-doo-doo.
Take whatever time you need to prepare. We'll see you at...
Oh, I don't need any more time. Mickle's going down, and he's going down hard. was in here. Oh, guess not. Where the heck is it then? Oh, it's out there.
How many axes do you have in your collection? 13.
I had no idea. Obviously, because I went the wrong way. I mean, if I had an idea and I went the wrong way, that would just be dumb. Grab the waypoint, because that would be dumb not to grab the waypoint. Oh, and the POI? Sure, I'll grab that too.
Don't tell me you've got no sense. Put the blade in all the way and then twist.
Alright. The championship fight. These aren't real Norn. Real Norn wouldn't be spilling ale. Okay? That just wouldn't happen. Newt! Buddy! Canut!
Welcome to the championship bout, Slayer. You've earned the right to be here.
Getting this far taught me a lot. Not just about how to fight, but also when to fight, and why.
What a load. You were just lucky getting this far. Why don't you quit now to spare yourself another beating?
Same old Mikkel. Can't build himself up without tearing someone else down.
You're definitely ready, Slayer. Remember everything you've learned. Mikkel is a great brawler, but he is no hero. You can be both. Good luck.
Behold, the Big Brawl's final round. Now we shall determine this year's winner. Are the competitors ready? Good. Then let the championship bout begin.
Let it begin. And so it begins. I can't compete with your witty words, so I'll just focus on beating you in the ring.
Get ready to travel, Slayer. I'm gonna send you through an Asura gate to Pain Town! Not bad. Better than that does it. I'm through taking it easy on you. My back! You messed up my spine!
Spectators are cheering. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in congratulating the
It was
winner
nothing.
and new
It was
champion
nothing.
of the Big Brawl.
Other than me kicking the crap out
I
of
want a rematch. I was robbed. I'm stronger than you, tougher than you, and better than you. How could I lose?
It's not about strength, Mikkel. It's about purpose and conviction. You fought well. Don't dishonor yourself now with this whining.
Well done, Slayer. Today we saw you come back from defeat to rise even higher than before.
That's true.
Every Norn should take that lesson to
That's
heart.
definitely true.
And they will. My time for glory may be past, but with heroes like the Slayer to inspire us, the Ice Dragon's days are surely numbered.
May we all be there when Jormag falls. Until then, I dedicate my victory to all Norn everywhere. Come
Except
help me celebrate.
Pickle Boy.
Over already?
It's over.
It's over. And I leveled up. We can start putting points back in over here. Exit. We're another level higher. Level 29. I have a new ring.
Ever want to learn the fine art of keg tossing? Come talk to me. I'll show you what to do.
A new vest. Hey, that's a new item of attire. You know what that means. Uh-huh. How about Power Fit Condi? Carry it. Ooh. Much better ring. Sorry, the heroes band. Away it goes.
Come talk to me. I'll show you what to do.
You have 2 new items of attire.
We have completed the task at hand.
Which means if I don't like the first dies, I can get myself another one. Here we go. No, not a fan of Viridian, Rose Breeze, and Scion. I kind of like it on the back piece, though. And here we go. Yes, definitely like that. We've got Dry Silver, Urn, and Sour. All in all, not bad. Grab this POI. I think, occasionally, I'm going to call it an evening here in just a sec. I want to thank all you guys for hanging out with me tonight. I really appreciate it. Kind of a low energy stream. Might be the same tomorrow. And Monday. Tuesday, I've got a big night ahead of me. In the past, I may be getting too old for this, but I'm not giving up yet. I have managed to start streaming at my usual time, which is 5 p.m. Pacific. And I have stayed up to give out the Happy New Year's to 5 time zones. So I start at 5 p.m. my time. At 8 p.m. my time, I wish Atlantic time zone a Happy New Year's. And Eastern, Central, Mountain, and Pacific. So I'm looking at a 7-hour streaming and drinking. 7 hours. We'll see. I've managed it in the past. I don't think I've failed yet. 6 years streaming now, I think. So this will be my 6th time doing it. We'll see if I can survive. It's a lot to ask. Old man. But I'm willing to chance it.
Wild welcome you.
Provide you with a Lens Co. Quality entertainment product. But I'm going to call it here for the evening. Again, thank you guys very much for hanging out. I hope the rest of your Saturday night kicks ass. I hope your Sunday's nice too. Hope your Monday is brief. Get you into your Tuesday and then the new year, which is coming up. Knock on wood. So I'm back tomorrow, usual time, 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern, middle of the night in Europe, morning in Asia, Australia, and New Zealand. Probably more Guild Wars 2, but I don't know. Me making up my mind, I have described it in the past as my brain rattling around in my skull like a BB in a coconut. But I will be back tomorrow. Hopefully you'll see me soon. Have a great rest of your evening. Take care, and ciao for now. Good night, guys.